Anyways, I'm going to give you a quick little intro. I've been around who I am because this position you should know when I say something where it's sort of coming from. I've been in kin for 28 years. I have served as every position from at club level, except treasurer. I don't want my treasurer who's watching this to say, hey, he's never the treasurer. I've been zone deputy governor for many years. I have served on district before. I've also a life member of the Kin Club of Windsor. In my other life, I've served on the board of my church as chair. I'm just finishing a 6-year term on the executive of the Association of Ontario Land Surveyors. I'm past president right now. And when I got on that board, we were graduating there's about 500 Ontario land surveyors in the province right now. We're the smallest profession. We had about 8 people that we would get in every year. And first thing I did was I said, well, we got to do a study, commission, like what is our replacement numbers? And this is actually what Ken and Brent were sort of opening with. We did a study and we found we needed about 25 members. So how do you do that? So the first thing we did was, well, okay, we got to get the message out that it's a good career, that it's something to do. So we updated our website, our presence. We went to the schools where the students are. And the reason I'm going through this is you're going to find that it's pretty much what we have to do in kin. We have to get the word out. We have a product, and we need to sell it. So where we are 6 years later in that is now we've got 30 to 35 members averaging. So we're doing great. So we can turn things around at the Surveyors Association. We can turn things around in kin. So you've heard all my great accomplishments here, but I just want to tell you, what's the one thing that all those things have in common? And it ain't me. It's a group effort. This is not something one person can do. This is a all hands on deck, very holistic approach. My theme this year, did I say my theme? Oops. I meant our theme, and it should be and is, we're all in this together. We need everybody to cooperate. I'm going to tell you right now that everybody's got, we started with all those projects, and I should commend every person who came in and talked about their projects, and I want you to know a common theme. They were all really freaking proud of what they did. There's nothing like the feeling you get when you started with, like, I got an idea, and it goes from there, and then somebody says, hey, we just made $6,000, $10,000 from that, right? That gives you a real kick in your club, a kick in the ass, and everybody's proud of them. And one person may have the idea, but the whole club makes it happen. So that's kind of what we're going to do with membership here, too. Okay, well, I'm going to talk a little bit about, and again, this is something that Ken and Brent, and I'll say their names properly this time, what they started with, they said, there's no way you can get to a successful club or get where you're going unless you know where you're starting. And that was something they touched on. I actually brought a copy of it up here, was the club health assessment. I downloaded it off of IKIN under the club support and leadership resources. Something every club should do, successful or not, and it kind of gets you an idea of where you stand as a club. And don't just the president do it. It should be done as a club. I'm sorry that you may think you're the greatest thing on earth, but unless you have an idea of how everyone stands, you're not getting the complete picture. So, stepping back on what my role is here, anytime you take a job on, you should always look at what is expected of you. And there was a long list of stuff expected of me. So I'm just going to go through a quick list here. So my number one role, and I'm going to, it was all actually, no one is more important than the other, but I was asked to promote participation in kin. So that can include awards, that can include just, getting your recognition in your community. But I've always I always try to simplify things. To me, when it comes to kin, it's got to be more fun to be in the room than out. And I'm not just talking about fun. I'm just talking about laughs, fellowship, but I'm also talking about the satisfaction of being in kin. All right? As I said, I have learned so much from this association. I wouldn't have taken on all these other projects I've done over the years if I hadn't learned to talk and be able to convey my thoughts in a rational manner. You be the judge of that. But from years of public speaking that I've had to do in kin. I'm going to give you a quick story about Windsor because I'm more intimate with that club. We used to meet in restaurants, and then we'd have a meeting after. And then Tara Carmen, and I hope she's out there, and I came up with this idea. There's one thing you can have dinner and that, but we said, you know what? Let's go to the youth center where they're always crying for people to make meals. So once a month we go there, we make a meal, we eat with the kids. These are all street kids and youth at risk. They're very friendly. We talk to them and stuff like that. Then they have a meeting room out back and we use their meeting room. So I can tell you that, whether we make a ton of money or not, and we don't make money off this project, every kin meeting for the Kin Club of Windsor has a service component. And I think everybody feels good about that. It doesn't take too much. We're going to make the meal anyways. So anyways, it's an idea, and people can go out and do that. So there has to be something that your members are getting from the club, whether it's fun, whether it's satisfaction, whether it's a community drive. Everybody has a different reason for being in this organization. And one of those club health assessment things are just to find out why everybody's there. All right, here's another thing I've got to do. I have to liaise with the clubs to promote resources available to them. And thanks to Tracy over there, who stole my thunder, I had this long list. I was going to go through. You can go to iKin, where you get the club health assessment. You can go to KinU, where there's a long list of projects. Thank you, Tracy. There's all sorts of interesting articles. There's a club. So that's more or less. She's talked about at a national. Resources. Your District 1 has resources, mostly me, but also it's a team thing. The zone deputy governors are part of the team. The governors, we just went to a club and met them. I've had a few road trips by myself. So I'm always open to work with clubs. All I have always said is, can you do that club health assessment? Because I'm not doing this by myself. I need to know where you stand. We've talked about zone resources. Your DGs have usually been elected have a few years' experience. They know what's going on. You know what? If you have an event, let them know. They're more or less going to be able to send a blast out to everybody, including the district, to let everybody know what's going on. And then your club level support. And as I said, we are all in this together. No one person can keep a club strong and growing. We need your fellow members when you're overwhelmed. If you're taking on too much work and it's starting to weigh on you and make you wonder why you're doing kin, then you're in it too much. I'm going to remind everybody that, as I said, this is the one thing that I've always said is, I go into a town, I see a sign that says Kin Club or Kinsmen or Kinettes are here. And I always say, you know what? Here's a town where people care. Here's a town where people are, there's a community presence here. And I know that I have friends here. I know people who will welcome me. And I think that, I do this often. I ask clubs, what's your biggest project you do every year? And they'll say, oh, Rib Fest or this or that fest. And I always say, wrong. And I always say the biggest project you do every year is that you exist, that you carry over, that you keep that legacy that was handed to you. And like I say, most of these clubs are 90 years old now. It was handed to you, and you've kept it going, and you pass it on to someone else, and to give them the opportunities that you had for personal growth and to help in their community. That, to me, is the biggest thing that we do as a club. The last thing that I have on my list of things that I'm supposed to do is, check this out, come up with a plan to promote our goals on membership. Okay? So, anyways, I cast my mind to that, and I've already talked to the governors about this, and I brought it up in my visitations. I believe that one of the things that is going to help us, especially coming out of a pandemic where a lot of us are sort of struggling, is the concept of twinning clubs. And I think that if you are a really strong club And, Ken and Brent, wow, you got a great club there in Delhi. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just reach out to a weaker club in your area? And, it's not part of your community, but guess what? We're all part of each other's community. And say, hey, guys, can we do a visitation or just see what's going on? Or do you want to come up, invite them up to see how we do things, stuff. There's always, everybody knows there's that one club that just seems to bump along and stuff, and maybe they want to be left alone, but just reach out to them. That's part of the whole kin thing, is that we work together and we move things along. Anyways, wow, thanks to everyone who presented earlier. Thanks to Ken and Brent. Thanks to Tracy for allowing me to talk to you in half the time that I had intended to talk. Yeah. Yes. And that is how you earn the respect of your fellow kin. You get out early. Thank you.